could be a type of tumour. It's hard to know right now without actually getting in there and taking them off and getting the samples analysed. The hard part about operating on Ziggy is the fact that he has so many of these lumps, and they're also in a very sensitive area. If these were to get any bigger, or if there were to be any more of them, the surgery would be nearly impossible. This is about the last possible moment we can do it and do it safely.
The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to think that Andrew has really stitched me up here. Monkeys, sure they're funny, but they're notoriously difficult to catch because they're intelligent. This is going to be really tricky.
That tickles.
It's part of the welcoming committee here, is it?
Yeah.
In the last week, owners of the Mansfield Zoo, Bronwyn and Dave, have become increasingly concerned about Ziggy.
He's got some little lumps on his eyes. They've been there for quite a long time, but just recently they've got really large, and it's just got to the point where we need to get them looked at because they're going to start impacting on his vision and possibly on his eyes as well.
The really frustrating thing for me is that I can't go in there with him. Monkeys carry a lot of diseases that are transmissible to humans, so if I get in there and he bites me or scratches me, then I could leave Mansfield with herpes.
Zig, come on.
So the whole idea here is to make Zig a little bit jealous of the food going on here, so he's going to come down a bit closer for us.
Hopefully, yes.
He's looking down to almost taste it. He really wants it.
Ziggy's favourite foods are only managing to get the attention of his neighbours.
It's pretty clear I'm being outsmarted by a monkey right now.
It's time for Plan B. The eggs and almonds are now placed in the capture cage.
Come on, mate.
Hopefully Ziggy will come down and take the bait.
He went halfway in and then ran out.
Oh. Serious?
He's in. Yeah. Now I can actually get a really good look at Ziggy's face. It's amazing how big those lumps are. My initial thought was that maybe they're cysts that have grown out from his skin there, but they could also be papilloma, so warts, or it could be a type of tumour. It's hard to know right now without actually getting in there and taking them off and getting the samples analysed.
Back at the clinic, Andrew's waiting for news on Ziggy's capture.
How'd you go, mate?
It was it's pretty simple.
Yeah, good. I was wondering who's going to win the battle.
It's very one-sided. I'll tell you the true story later on.
Okay, then.
The hard part about operating on Ziggy is the fact that he has so many of these lumps, and they're also in a very sensitive area. If these were to get any bigger, or if there were to be any more of them, the surgery would be nearly impossible. This is about the last possible moment we can do it and do it safely.
Chris is using a probe with an electric current running through it to burn off the lumps. The electrocauterisation helps minimise any bleeding.
Now we're up close to it, you can see definitely there's some quite serious irritation. There's extra pigmentation and extra coloration around the eye. There it is there. The really interesting thing I'm noticing when I'm taking these lumps off is the fact they're not really that deeply invading into Ziggy's eyelid. Normally tumours will quite aggressively push their way into the body, whereas warts and cysts generally don't. I think that's a good sign. We've taken off 4 already, and you can already see a pretty dramatic difference. The tricky thing now is how much more do you do? You take off too many, you're going to cause a lot of irritation, a lot of inflammation. It may not be necessary. I think Ziggy's going to have to live with a few little lumps, and he'll get by with that. I think as long as they're not starting to rub in his eye or block his vision, he's going to be okay.
Zig, you actually look a lot better, don't you?
It's actually pretty awesome to see a monkey this close and do something to help him as well. It's a pretty cool experience.
Ziggy's biopsies will be sent to the lab to be tested. For now, the monkey will be kept at the clinic for observation as he tries to shake off that surgical hangover.
You know that feeling you sometimes get when you wake up in a hotel room, you don't really know where you are? Ziggy's going to get that times by about 100. It's going to be really confusing and quite confronting for him to all of a sudden look around here and have no idea where he is.
So I'm relieved to see you doing this. There was a period of time where I thought you actually get no time off at all.
Occasionally we do. It's got to be some perks to living up in this beautiful area.
It's been a challenging week in the bush.
Yeah, true.
But Chris's tour of duty is now over.
It's nice out here. It is. Just need some sand and maybe a few waves and The water needs to be warmer as well.
Not Bondi, mate.
It's not Bondi. Got to ask though, mate, would you have me back?
Anytime, mate. Anytime. I'm always welcome back.
You mean that?
I do. Well, somebody's got to check the monkey again.
Ziggy. Oh, Ziggy.
Talking of Ziggy, it's good news. The monkey is back home and his tests are all clear.
Really pleased. And the fact that his eyes are much bigger and brighter. A bit of plastic surgery works marvels.